Hey guys, what's up? So really quick, first of all, welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I'm going to be going through a really quick rapid fire. This is about something that I posted for 4th of July. It was in a Facebook group, and it was like I wished my family and my loved ones a happy 4th of July. And then asked it what any gringos that were living in Mexico did. Although I said for anyone living in Mexico, what did y'all do? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. There were some comments, so let's get into it. And we can have a whole discussion. We can discuss y'all's opinion, everything like that, in the comments on this video, okay? So first, this is from Molly. Why would anyone living in Mexico celebrate the 4th of July? I feel like it's such a smack in the face to the Mexicans with the blatant racism and cruelty shown towards them in the U.S. My response to her was this. Girl, really? That has absolutely nothing to do with me. I don't support racism or the way Mexicans, Hispanics, Latinos have been treated. I'm Mexican American and I didn't even celebrate because there aren't a lot of gringos where I live. I am still free to celebrate the country where I was born and where I come from and where I came from, and I still love Mexico. I carry both countries with me all the time. It's people like you leaving comments like this that make people feel they have to choose a side and we don't. It's people like you leaving comments like this that feel all the gringos are the same and all gringos support Trump. That's not true. Not all gringos support Trump. I don't. Not all gringos support what he has done. I don't. It's people like you that help people in other countries believe that everything the president does, he has the full support of the American people because of the things, or he does the things he does because that's what the Americans want. Like we're responsible for one man's decisions. And just FYI, there are quite a few celebrations done in different parts of Mexico where gringos could go and celebrate. They were promoting friendship and no racism. And I think that speaks highly of the Mexicans. They are so kind. They want people to feel at home and still let them feel free to be who they are. She said, you completely missed my point. I said absolutely nothing about anyone supporting Trump. And yes, I absolutely do think that it's about picking sides because the U.S. is not worth celebrating whatsoever. 250 years of colonization and arrogance. And I won't even cross the border for a day trip because I think it's important to be a voice for those who don't have one. Maybe instead volunteer with organizations that were helping people who didn't have papers, like get groceries and stuff like that. And you can't celebrate a country while also claiming you don't support them. What are you celebrating if you don't support what they're doing? Yes, you can. We don't celebrate the president. We don't celebrate what he's doing. That's not what that means. And to be in a country they're oppressing the citizens of and celebrate the oppressors is crazy to me. To each their own. I'm not going back and forth writing novels with you. I stand on what I said, and it's a smack in the face and disrespectful to celebrate a country that is actively oppressing Mexicans in their country. I don't care if certain establishments held events, and she said like they were probably relying on them for tourism and blah, blah, blah. But no full Mexican is celebrating the 4th of July. I said, Molly, sweetie, I get your point, but the reason I bring up everything else is because of what you chose to write. So, one, who are you to tell people they need to choose a side, especially when it comes to people from the U.S. and Mexico when you aren't from either of those countries? What right do you have to tell them to choose? They're all free to choose to do so, and it should be their own decision. You say the U.S. Is not worth celebrating whatsoever, and that's your opinion. Sure, the U.S. has a long history of doing bad things to other countries, and many other countries share a similar story, but because of many things going on right now and because of the man leading the country, you, like many others, are choosing to hate on the U.S. as much as possible, and just because some people choose to carry on with the arrogance and BS, that does not mean all of us feel the same way. 3, you don't want to cross the border for a day trip because of that, then don't. Or I said, okay, don't. Because there are plenty of gringos in the U.S. standing up for those same people you're talking about. I myself have spoken out about the actions of the president towards Mexicans, Hispanic, Latinos because I think it's pathetic and atrocious. It's actually because of all that I have refused to go back and visit my family. I don't want to put my husband in a situation that could be unsafe for him or for our family, even though he's a dual citizen. 4, I most certainly can celebrate the country if I don't support what they're doing. I just did yesterday. That's my right. Why? Because our country is more than just one man sitting in a comfy leather chair inside a big white building. There are so many good people in the states that care and that respect people from all walks of life. There's still so many good people trying to teach their children to respect and accept different people and cultures because the world is more than just the U.S. I celebrate for those people, and I celebrate the hope that those people can have their actions shine brighter than all this other BS someday. 5, girl, as I said, I'm Mexican American. I'm married to a Mexican. I will celebrate as is my right. Or as I please, as is my right as a human being. And guess what? The people here don't see me as an oppressor. Sure, doing social media, I come across people like you who call me colonizer, gentrifier, and so on. But they have nothing to base that on except for their hate for another country because of one man and his brainwashed followers, just like you're doing right now. You want to talk about a smack in the face? You telling people they have to choose a side as a smack in the face? You thinking that the Mexicans should treat gringos like crap because of the things that have happened when that doesn't have anything to do with all the gringos, and after many gringos have gone out into the streets to defend them, when they have chosen kindness instead is a slap in the face. Maybe those establishments are choosing kindness and friendship over hate. And just FYI, there are plenty of full Mexicans that I know that live in the states that celebrate the 4th. Also, my grandma is Mexican and I'm Native American, so you know. And since I'm on the topic of hate, you want to come here and take your personal hate and disdain for an entire country out on me as a singular person. That's hate. With all the things you've written here today, that's hate. You're just as bad as the people in the States spreading hate. You're contributing to the problem, saying people need to choose sides as if Mexicans and Gringos shouldn't be allowed to get along is hate. No, my friend, no, that's wrong. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And remember that an entire country is not responsible for the actions of a select few. She also shared this with my husband. My husband said, this is Luis. No, really, I'm Mexican and I have no problem with my wife celebrating. We as Mexicans celebrate back in the States, like celebrations like Dia de la Independencia, Dia de los Muertos, Cinco de Mayo. We celebrate in a country that's not ours, so I don't see why they can't celebrate. Plus, Trump and some of those racist dummies don't represent all of the United States. Not all Gringos are the same, not all Canadians are the same, and not all Mexicans are the same. Have a great day. She said, Americans aren't being held captive, starved. In Mexico, there's a very big difference. She said Americans aren't being held captive, starved. In Mexico, there's a very big difference. So you're telling me that just for some people going, so Luis, my husband said, so you're telling me that just for some people we're going to hate on a whole country? No, mi amiga, no, that's not good. Whatever you're doing right now, makes you just like the people you're complaining about. On that same picture, this guy, Juanito, said, absolutely disgusting, asking how people celebrated in Mexico when there are families ripped apart and separated because of deportation in the USA government. You're truly heartless. I think about those families and how they feel with you putting this up. Feel free to celebrate on your Facebook and not my country. Absolutely the most heartless thing to post when people in pain right now. When I posted the picture of me in the Mexico jersey the day they played England, he said this: after wishing everyone here a happy 4th of July, not even thinking about how people are separated from their families due to deportation and the USA government, and just sticks a jersey on of my country. I said, okay, so what? So now I can't celebrate the independence of my country I was born in? I'm the one deporting all these people you're talking about? Are you blaming me for all the things that you don't like or disagree about in the US? It's like if I blame you for some of the things Mexicans do, and my husband actually told me to write that. Not all Gringos are the same, and not all Mexicans are the same, my friend. Yeah, my grandparents... my grandmother is Mexican and I'm also Native American. He said, go for it, celebrate. You don't need to stick it on a page for Mexico, especially when families are separated because of the USA government. How heartless are you? Thank you for not respecting Mexico. Tell me you don't understand Mexico without telling me, oh wait, you just did. The thought process of asking what people did in Mexico for the 4th of July. You really are cruel and heartless. Families separated and ripped apart. And you had the gall to do that is absolutely disgusting. My response to him is kind of long, so I'm actually going to put it in the comments on the video. But like, honestly, people, let's just use some common sense. I'm not asking Mexicans how they celebrated the 4th of July. I was asking Gringos. So I ended up having to go back and change my post to say, Gringos, like, did you do anything? And if so, what did you do? And I want to make it very clear that my post started off with, I want to wish my family and loved ones in the States a happy 4th of July. And I hope you all have a safe and happy holiday, whatever. So I'm not saying that to Mexicans. No, I'm not asking what Mexicans did. Like, I'm sorry if I seem a little upset, but it's like the lack of common sense and the way people assume things to me is still, like, in a way so shocking. Like, let's have some common sense, people, and like think before we like type. Okay, guys, yeah, like I said, I'll put I know that was really fast. I'll put my response to him, to that comment, in the comments here on the YouTube video. But please let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know your opinions. I'm more than happy to have a discussion with you guys about it in the comments. But, you know, seeing as Mexicans are allowed to celebrate, you know, certain holidays and certain things over in the United States, should we as Gringos also be allowed to do it here? And what do you think about the Mexicans holding, like, Mexican establishments holding, like, celebrations in different parts of Mexico for Gringos wanting to celebrate the 4th? I think that's very kind of them. I think they're choosing kindness over hate. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, click subscribe, and turn on post notifications to keep up with all my content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.